Talking TSM, the Game House's talk show about TSM's LCS team. I'm Robert Haynes, the hostess with the semi-mostness and the guidiest with the guidiestness. Yeah, great stuff. You're welcome. You're welcome for that intro. I thought you guys might like it. So we had an interesting weekend. Wouldn't you all say? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling 22. But I'm also not feeling too bad about the weekend. They're very obvious things to fix. So, let's just break this down, right? So, as a reminder, we had 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, and Free LG this weekend. And there are some really important things that I would like to go over about these games because it wasn't the best weekend, right? For starters, with 100 Thieves, right? So, as always, we'll break this down. Draft, early game, mid game. Do the same for the other two games, and then I will go into more of my general thoughts about the weekend overall. So, I'm going to be honest here. I really, really hate the AP Gragas. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I don't feel like either we play it very well or maybe it's just I don't know. I don't feel like Gragas is really that great in the meta. Like, I understand that he's a champion that players can go to and can feel better, I guess, maybe about themselves. I don't really know, but he just doesn't feel very good. He is currently 1-4 in the LCS, by the way. Or 1-3, excuse me. All right, with his one win coming at support. He has no wins at jungle, and we played him top, and he's bad. It's not good. And I just don't really get it. I really just don't understand why we constantly feel the need to go with this AP Gragas. Oh my gosh. What is this pick that we've never seen before? I don't know. Anyways, my rant on that is over. It clearly does not work with this comp especially. Okay? And I know that he's got a good ultimate to push things, away or to you. And Huni will actually make a really nice play in this game that we'll talk about. But still, just the overall value is just not there for me. Also, missing a ban. Like, come on, guys. That's just... You prep all freaking week, and you don't know what your fifth ban's going to be? I just don't... I think that that's unacceptable at this level. I really do. I think it is such a big blunder. And it feels like we do it more often than any other team. I'd have to go back and look, but I remember that happening to us last split too. And it's like, dude, just click something. I don't care if you ban Annie or Ari, whatever. At least you banned something. Ban whatever you're freaking clicked on. I mean, they give you a grace period too. I mean, it ticks down, and then normally you have like 2 or 3 seconds afterwards even. So there's no reason why you should ever really miss a ban. Even if you just ban the random thing that you happen to be clicked on. It's just... I don't know. I think it's unacceptable. I'm a big, big proponent that should never happen. Not proponent. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. I'm a big believer that should never happen. There's the word. So, we go through the first bans. I like the Udyr pick. I didn't mind the Lucian pick. I didn't like the Gragas. Again, I mean, you just look at this. I mean, you see freaking Lee Sin and Rumble, and you're like, Lucian Gragas. Yeah, that sounds good. Ugh. And then you go Zaya? I mean, I get it. There's a lot of dive on their team, but you're playing for such a late game at that point, right? Between the Lucian and the Zaya, those are your only real sources of damage. You have a small burst from Gragas. He has the opportunity to wipe somebody out in one go, but your team's kind of built not really for picks. It's kind of built for skirmishing and team fights, and the Gragas can be that. I'm gonna stop leading on that. I don't like the Zaya pick either. I just don't think she's good enough, into a Kaisa Rumble Lee Sin at the time. Meh. It's not great. It's not a good thing. And you know that you have the Leona too. So I guess they really just were afraid of the dive. And at that point, I think you lost draft too early with the Lucian Gragas. Ugh, man. Anyways, Akali just has to be banned right now. I think they've hopefully learned that from this weekend. It just needs to happen. And again, I still love the Udyr pick, but we go into the early game, and it's not bad. Like Lucian, the power of evil's up as apparently expected with Akali. I didn't think it was that good of a lane for him, but I guess until level 6, it's a very strong lane because he can push her in. So my bad on that. I'm glad that the Talking TSM Discord guys were able to help me out with that. We get first Drake, so I'm like, okay, this is fine. We got the Udyr. We're playing pretty well. We're up, and the Zaya's keeping up surprisingly against the Kaisa. I think it's just they maybe are respecting the Braum a lot. I don't know. But then they go and they fight the Rift Herald. And it's just to me like what is the point of this Rift Herald? Right? Like, oh my god, I don't know. 1 second, I gotta find this fight. So, they're just in this terrible position. You got 4 people on one side, you got Huni on the other, and I know that Sword Art was there too, but you're going into Rumble Alt, Lee Sin. I mean, there's just, oh god, I can't stand this pick. Holy moly, it just doesn't work. He dies. They die at Rift Herald again. I swear to God, we die more at Rift Herald probably than any other team too. I don't understand it. There's like some serious Achilles heels, and I'll tell you right now, if any other LCS team is listening, just plan that TSM are going to throw something at a Rift Herald at this point. Just do it. Put it into your freaking game plan. All right, well, if they don't throw it the first one, they're going to throw it the second one. So just, if you guys are in a bad spot, just wait for them, because apparently they don't know how to fight at Rift Heralds after 6 months of doing it. Oh, my God. I just don't understand why we can't figure this out, man. It is not that hard. You don't need to die at Rift Herald, guys. Just give it up and take plates elsewhere. It's not freaking hard. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. You leave Lost in the bot lane. He gets a lead. He's able to push it in. If 100 Thieves are going to commit to this whole freaking thing, you're not going to win fights right now. You're just not. You are not powerful enough. The Lucian and the Zaya are useless against all these level 8s and level 9 freaking carries. They're just not going to be able to do it. Man, it's so frustrating. It's just... I want to know who's making these calls, because there's just no point to fighting that. You're never going to win it. Take stuff elsewhere. Give the freaking first one. You got the Drake. You don't have to worry about it. God, man. It's tough because I'm not the best player. I will repeat that over and over again. I am an observer, right? I'm doing my best to give my thoughts on what I am seeing. And yeah, I'm going to be wrong plenty of times. Okay? I will fully admit it. But in this situation, I'm just looking at this from the straight up standpoint that Power of Evil and Lost will die instantly to Abadage. Even at this point, right? You drop if Closer actually drops his ult behind TSM more so than what he does do. They could have gotten completely wiped here. Like, luckily they decide to turn on Huni instead of everybody else, because I'm not afraid of Huni at all if I'm them at this point. You just go into the rest of the team, like, and yeah, sure, Lost could maybe do a really good pullback and get them all stunned, but you can turn on the Gragas later. So I don't know, just weird stuff. And then you got the play over on blue side jungle next to red, where they try to get Abadage. You don't know where any of the rest of their team is at, right? At this point, you haven't seen them since I should say that. You know that most of them are in the bot lane. You see that Lee Sin is going back, and you think, oh, sure, we'll be able to just kill Abadage really quickly. Oh, that's right. Abadage can hide in his shadows. Like, what? Dude, and then they just try to collapse on him. It's terrible. I'm just watching this play right now. And, man, good thing we chose that Lucian. He's up 15 CS right now. Oh, man. I mean, just bad. Then I will say, like, Huni gets this pretty awesome play onto Someday. It's a really nice play. And I get it. Like, this is what the Gragas can do, right? I mean, he doesn't even need Spica here. Doesn't even need him, honestly. And they're still able to get the kill. And it's a good play by Someday to try to get out. It's a really nice play by Huni. Spica being there definitely helps, but didn't need it. You know, but it's just the pressure around the rest of the everywhere else is just, they're losing everywhere. You know, and if you're going to do this with PoE, like, you got to help him out some. And then we're fighting again in the Red buff area. And Lost just kind of does his own thing. Like, they die here, Closer ults, so they get the kill onto Huhi, which is great. But then you're running, trying to run through this. Oh man, you guys should see where I'm paused right now. You're running through this small corridor with a Rumble and with an Akali and a Kaisa. You got all this damage from them, right? It's not like you have Huni down here to soak some stuff up or whatever. Like, just Lost needs to get the heck out of here, man. Like, there's no way he could take this fight right now. They just turn on him. He ults. Sure, he gets a great pullback. But, bro, you're so far out there. Oh, man. I don't get it. It just is crazy to me. You give over the triple now to Abadage, and it's over. I mean, this game is over. He's 4-0-0. But, hey, we got a 30 CS lead on that Lucian. And I'm not trying to flame PoE specifically. I just don't get it. I don't really get the whole idea behind it. But then TSM, you know, they're playing their game where they're not, you know, playing too badly. They're only down 2K. You know, they're smart enough they can figure some of this stuff out. And the pings right now are tower, right? You have got what looks like Lost, Power of Evil, and Sword are all saying, let's go to the tower. But then for some reason, Spica, now you can't see everybody right now so on the map, so I'm going to give him that credit. But you see Someday coming out, right? And you're fighting at a red buff that doesn't matter. Huni flashes in. Oh my god, I did not see this. He flashes in to try to help Spica get out. And they just collapse on us. And it's like, the call there is very easy. You back off. You don't know where they are. But hey, you have push in mid lane, right? And worst comes to worst, you take the mid lane tower there. But instead, you die over a red buff? I mean, come on, man. And they're not there yet. You're still down 2k gold. And and lost in Power of Evil. They're not strong enough yet. So then they try to fight this Baron. And there's no reason why we should be fighting this Baron, by the way. I mean, just give it at this point. You're not going to stop them with two very not powered up yet 80 carries and a Braum against everything that is 100 Thieves comp. And if you are going to challenge it, then at least wait till it's a little lower. Because then they've taken a little bit more damage. I mean, I don't know, man. This is bad. And this meta for a Lucian played by somebody like Power Evil, who's clearly not overly comfortable on the champion. I mean, he missed more ultimate shots than I've seen almost anybody else miss. And these assassins are going to kill him all the time. Like, you don't want to first pick him, the Lucian. If you want to pick it into a more advantageous matchup because it's left up, fine. But it's just, I don't know. They're down 8k gold. They're able to have a good fight at the Baron. And you're like, okay, they traded 1-for-1. They kept him off the second Baron. This is looking good. Maybe they can claw their way back into this game. And then they play it at Soul. And Huni just jumps over, pulls a trigger onto an Akali, and just does nothing. And they lose. And you can pinpoint all these different plays. This is, Lost being in a bad position, Huni being in a bad position, Lucian just doing nothing. And you think, okay, yeah, this is against 100 Thieves. They're a better team than what we're about to face against FlyQuest. But hopefully we can head into the second day and learn some freaking lessons. Because right now we clearly don't understand how to play against Akali. At this point in the weekend. And I'm going to tell you guys, spoiler alert, we leave up Akali, I believe. I will need to make sure on this. All right, we do ban Akali against FlyQuest, so that's good. So we learned our lesson there. But I guess, we learned that part of the lesson. I don't know, man. I don't understand it, guys. It's not hard. It's not freaking hard. You don't dive the Akali. You don't first attack the Akali. Taking her out of the fight at the beginning, sure, that could be important. I understand that. You get shutdown gold. She's their main source of damage. I really do understand. But if you don't kill her instantaneously, then you're not going to be able to win the overall fight. Because she will just jump into her shadow. She'll heal up by hitting a couple Qs and running right back into it. And then she'll jump right into your backline with her ultimate. I don't know. It's just a terrible game. I did not like the draft. I hate that freaking AP Gragas. I never want to see it again. Even tank Gragas there is way more useful. Because at least you can just sit behind 3 real beefy boys in Gragas, Udyr, and Braum. And I get it. Yes, that makes them extraordinarily one-dimensional in terms of damage. I really do understand that, guys. But at this point, when you see their comp, right, at the end of this, it's not hard for them to go, all right, Huni, we're changing this plan. We know that we need some AP damage, but we're going to need you to go tank. Because otherwise we're just going to lose. We're just going to straight up lose. Because they're not, you're not going to be able, he has no value in these fights. I mean, you watch this game over and over again, and there's just nothing that he brings to the table that is going to make this team win this game. Even if he is in the right positions. I just think it's a terrible strategy. I think it's a terrible draft. They needed to make the changes there. Anyways, I head into the FlyQuest game. And, FlyQuest goes with the Lulu pick. I was a little bit like, I don't know. I know that Lulu is really strong. It was still surprising, though, that they went straight into it. But obviously now we know the power of Lulu is very strong. And I really like the Nocturne Rumble response. It's like, all right, we're going to get Huni on a champion that he's really comfortable on. He knows the lane matchups really well. It doesn't really matter who plays into him because he's going to be useful. And Rumble's still very strong. and they actually gave up the Udyr for the Rumble, that's a first that I can remember. So I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then and we even get the Tristana. They get the Kog'Maw. I'm like, Kog'Maw Lulu. That's really strong late game, but if you got Huni diving onto him in the background, you layer ultimate over with Spica. You got Power of Evil jumping in with the Tristana, or probably more likely Lost jumping in with the Tristana. Like, you're gonna kill the Kog'Maw before it's a problem, most likely. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, like this is okay. I'm fine with this. Yeah, I don't love that Lulu can just ult and she's great against the dive, but then we ban the Set and we ban the Lee Sin. And I'm like, all right, I get the Lee Sin ban. Don't love the Set ban, considering you don't really have anything that he's going to want to just jump right into. But, we'll see what they got up their sleeve. And they picked the Leona. I'm like, okay, more dive. They really want to kill this Kog'Maw. I again, into the Lulu, don't love it, but I can see it. I'm okay with this. FlyQuest pick Viego and Sylas, and we go freaking Lucian again. Like, what? You have last pick, and you pick Lucian. Into that? Like, what? I don't understand it. It doesn't matter if it's Viego or Sylas mid lane. Sure, he'll get the push. But we've seen it. Like, he doesn't do anything with these leads. They don't enable him to do anything either. And by the time that he is going to matter, you're going to have an Udyr slapping him. You're going to have a Sylas jumping onto him. You're going to have a Viego jumping onto him. And you have no peel. Because the Leona is meant to go in for a dive. So what is he supposed to do in this comp? Somebody explain that to me. Because the Tristana can jump out of any of them jumping onto her. That's fine. I get it. But what is this Lucian supposed to do? God, you could probably hear it. I really didn't get this. Because you see last week where we were like, yeah, we got all this great stuff. Oh, we're understanding the meta. Things are looking good. And then we just pull all this random BS out. And I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. I saw that draft. And I'm like, well, that's a loss. That just looks terrible. I mean, maybe I can convince myself that we're going to win these fights, but it's going to have to go really well for us, and we're going to have to hope that Palafox can't play the Sylas very well. Like, I seriously don't understand why Sylas isn't in almost every game right now. I mean, he's so strong. And the fact that neither Huni or Power of Evil play him, like, this meta is really bad for us, guys. It is not good right now. Because a lot of our people do not play these champions that are strong. So I almost feel like we're just going to have to, like, weather the storm here for a while. But, I don't know. Anyways, we'll continue on. Early game, they did a great job of making Licorice's life miserable. I mean, really, they did. I mean, Huni's got a good plan. Spica's got good stuff too. They get the kill. But then Palafox TPs and Power of Evil doesn't follow him up. And when I'm looking at this, there's not a great spot for him to come in. I kind of understand that. But if he channels it before Palafox, because we have minions at the tower, and you see Jose Diodo come in before Palafox gets there. So it's like, if he starts channeling before Palafox, then there's a chance that they can turn this fight into a massive win for them. Not just a semi-win, but a massive win for them. Especially considering what Power of Evil does with this. He doesn't get the lead much bigger. He doesn't get a plate. And then he TPs after Huni gets caught in their jungle for some random reason, even though you know where they are. Like, it's not like he's surprised. Oh, well, like, they were clearly planning on this. Because then PoE comes into a fight where Huni dies before they can do anything. And it's like, that's the time where you don't TP. Like, where did this communication that they had so many good things with before just be gone? Just really weird, bad decisions there from Power of Evil, honestly. And again, I'm going to put it into this. He's not comfortable on Lucian. Sure, he has played some okay games with Lucian in the past. I get that. But this meta is different than the Lucian being in the mid meta in the past. It is not the same. There's a bunch of assassins. There's a bunch of people who can just burst him down instantly. He's not able to sit there and kite. He's not able to dive into a fight and try to carry it. All right, that's for good Lucian players, not average Lucian players, and that's what PoE seems to be currently. And that's, again, I love PoE. He's a very good player. He just doesn't seem comfortable on this Lucian in this meta right now. He just doesn't. So yeah, there you go. And at this point, bot is screwed. They're down in CS, and they're not getting any attention. They're just sitting there trying to get Huni ahead, which, truthfully, like, they should have just accepted the fact that, like, he's got a lead. Just leave it at that. Go bot lane and make something freaking happen. You have a Kog'Maw and a Lulu, for God's sakes. They're not even level 6 yet. Go there instead. They're getting pushed in, too. It's not hard to gank. And then they get the Rift Herald. You finally think, all right, that was a clean Rift Herald. I'm envisioning this in my mind right now. I'm even going to look at it. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my God, look at this, guys. Look, we're all on one side. They're all on the other. Right? If you can see my right hand's pushing out to the right side. My left hand's pushing out to the left side. And we're going back towards our base. And we just, it's like this soothing sensation. Wow, we just got this Rift Herald. We're all sitting here and we're like, God, look at that. A good Rift Herald. And then Sword Art goes in. GTFO, man. I'm not going to say it on this, but get the heck out of there. What are you doing? Oh my God. You just got the Herald. You don't need to fight. Just leave. Oh God. What is the call there? You're going into, again, I cannot stress this enough. Learn from last game, guys. You're going into a Udyr, a Sylas, a Viego, and likely something else. You don't see the rest of it right away, but you know at least those three. And in what world are you going to win that fight? Please tell me. Who are you going to kill? It's not like you have a gold lead. I'm going to check to make sure. Before I totally flame. I'm watching this right now. Let's see here. Yep, they get it. So here's who they know for sure. You're seeing Jose Dioto. You can see Licorice. You can see Palafox. And you just know that Johnson and Dreams were in the top lane. Okay? Oh my God. You know Sword Art goes into 3 of them. By himself. And the Tristana's not close. That's your AoE damage. I know, yeah, Spica has Rumble. He can do AoE and Power of Evil can too. But, like, if you stop this at 8 minutes and 43 seconds, Sword Art it's like we're like the marching whatever. I don't know. There's Sword Art. Then 3 champion lengths behind him is Huni. Then behind him is Spica. And then behind him is Power of Evil. Power of Evil's at freaking Pixel Brush right now. And you're diving in to an Udyr with a level 5 Lulu. Sure, she doesn't have ult yet. So, okay, maybe that's not as bad. But you know for a fact that Johnson's right there. And you can see Palafox. And you know that Lost is not going to be able to kill Licorice by himself. And by the way, Lost is in mid lane right now. And then the rest of the team goes. Like, get the hell out of there, man. If Sword Art's going to jump on that, then fine. Whatever. It's like, oh, well, miscommunication there. But get out. Leave. Bye. They go in anyways, and they just die. Oh, God. It's so bad. And they try to force this fight up top lane, which is tough because you don't know that Jose Dioto's there, so I don't mind that fight there. But man, I mean, Sword Art had such a bad game. Oh God, I mean, he is just in a different world there. Luckily, they're able to pick off Dreams, and that's great. But they have to use an alt and. For some, I guess Rumble Alt's very, very short, so that's fine, I guess. But they get tower. You're like, all right, they're coming back. This is looking pretty good. They almost get 2 towers. And you're thinking, all right, yeah, they're down a couple kills. This isn't bad. And then TSM, they get Licorice in the bot lane again. They're putting him far behind. Sadly, Sword Art gets the kill here. I would have been way better. Man. Like, why Sword Art felt the need to Zenith Blade in was shocking there to me. He's already dead, dude. You don't need that. Just let Spica get the kill. Get him even more fed, right? Or preferably let Huni get it. Because at this point, by the way, Huni has a 20 CS advantage. Okay, when they get that kill. Now he gets more. He gets even more ahead. He ends up being up like 30 CS. He's gotten tower plates. He's helped gotten a tower. Like he's definitely ahead. Spica's probably even, sadly. But this last pick Lucian is at 15 minutes and 40 seconds in. He is 7 CS up right now. All right, and I'll push this even further. At 17 minutes. PoE is a total of 0-0-0 with an 11 CS lead over a Silas who is 3-0-3. Now you tell me where that last pick is worth it. Then we get to the fight. They have 2 really bad fights here in a row. Okay? And I'm not talking about skirmishes. I'm talking about fights. Okay? So, they're able to get this Drake. That's great. They really got unfortunate. They weren't able to get the kill there. The Lulu ult just big time saves Jose Dioto from being out of position. But then we're here at the Baron. It's 19 minutes. They're trying to get Baron Vision, I'm assuming. I don't really remember exactly. But they're fighting here, and they're able to turn this around. Like, really nice turnaround onto Palafox, okay? So I'm going to pause it right here at 19 minutes and 13 seconds. Great ultimate by Spica. They were able to use a lot of Power of Evil's ult there, too. You still have Lost's ult, Huni's ult, and Sword Art's ult. And they're winning this fight right now. And oh, by the way, Huni is TPing in behind them. Viego's mid. So they have a 5v4 advantage here. They've just gotten the stopwatch out of Palafox. Like, this is a great fight. So freaking good. And everybody's basically full health. Huni ults, and they're like, yes! This is where they're going to turn it around. They're literally only 600 gold behind right here. And a Drake. That is it. They've got both towers down to the side lanes. They've almost got the top lane tier 2 down. This is literally where TSM can win the entire freaking game. Because you do this, you wipe them right here, guys. That's a 20-minute Baron. That is a 20-minute Baron that FlyQuest can do absolutely nothing about. Huni is likely too far ahead for Licorice to be able to match him in a side lane, so it's going to have to be Palafox. He just plays back. It doesn't really matter too much. And the four of them can march it down mid, get two towers, likely get the top tower and the bottom tower all in one Baron. And you're probably up like 8k gold at that point. Okay, so I just played out this ultimate scenario where they finally are going to beat FlyQuest for the first time this year. And they're going to do it because FlyQuest honestly took a really greedy fight. Instead, Hooney jumps into the one guy who's jumping back to them, and there's nobody near TSM. I mean, yeah, Dreams is, but whatever. Oh my god. Sorry, they didn't even... By the way, Power Vival's ult was still up. I didn't realize this. Power Vival's ult was still up. And if he just waits for like 3 more seconds... Because the Viego's not there. Oh, God. If he waits like... Or if he even jumps onto the Lulu instead. Or, honestly, if he jumps onto the Kog'Maw and gets the fear off. I mean, there's just so many better people for him to have jumped on here. Oh, he did jump onto the Kog'Maw, and he missed it. Ha! He had to get out. Okay, so he does jump onto the Kog'Maw. I guess that didn't matter either. Oh, but if he just waits, sure, Licorice is going to be there, but Licorice is so far behind, and the rest of the team just... And why does Sword Art wait so long to ult? They could have won this fight. They really could have won this fight and win the game right here. Instead, they lose. He dies. Yeah, they get a nice pick onto Palafox up here. They finally shut him down. And even then, you're like, okay, well, maybe they can win this. You know, it's not bad. But then, no, it's not even a but then. TSM turned this fight around. They're fighting right next to Raptor Camp on their side. And FlyQuest yet again overextends. They're trying to kill Spica. They can't get him. Love this. Love this play, by the way. And Sword Art dies instantly. But Hooney, with a great ult, because the Kog'Maw can't see now. He's just blind firing at this point. Gets in. They're able to layer everything over. They're fighting in such a nice corridor there. They get 2 kills, and Jose Dioto's damn near dead. Now, at this point, honestly, Johnson, this is 22 minutes in. There's no way that Zenith Blade isn't up right now. Okay? For TSM. And they don't have Smite, by the way. Oh, I'm looking at this. Spica doesn't have Smite yet. He won a couple seconds, but still. The only people here, like, you have mostly full health members of TSM. Specifically your 2 carries. And you're focusing the frickin' Drake instead of the low mana Johnson? And Dreams doesn't have ult. You watched him use it. Turn this around right now. They tried to, but they waited too long. They waited for so freaking long. Instead, they tried to burn the Drake down. Like, just you don't need all 5 members there, man. Oh, it's so frustrating. You only need the damage dealers and probably Spica there. It's not like last week where Sword Art was in a perfect position with Leona. And then they tried to force this Baron like 3 times in a row. Oh, God. Like at 25 minutes. Just why? Go mid and get the tower. You had the push. And then they let FlyQuest push into their base. Even your top lane's pushing. Your bot lane's pushing. Everything is pushing. And they just keep wanting to try to fight this. Like, bait it. If you're really so hellbent on doing this, then bait it and kill Jose Dioto as soon as he walks in. God, man. And then Hooney jumps onto the backline for some unbelievable reason while the rest of the team is trying to burn down this Baron. And sure, like, they're going to get the Baron, but, you know, thank God Power of Evil used his ult on it. Because now they're all dead. And it doesn't matter. Like, it just... You got champions that can jump over. They all have their flashes. We had none of ours because of the last fight. And they just win the game. This just felt so bad because it's like they're trying to force this. They're not even down in gold yet. Like, not significantly enough. They gave up a Drake for it. They just... The shot calling for this game and for the game before was just horrible. Yeah, the draft wasn't good either. Like, TSM is better than both of these teams. I'm telling you that right now. If they actually play the way they're supposed to play, they're better than both of these teams. All right. So we're 0-2 at this point. And I'm not trying to overreact here, guys. Like, I'm really not. I'm not trying to say that, like, they're bad or whatever. Like, these are very fixable things. But they're just mind-boggling at this point. They're just mind-boggling at this point. Like, we just won 3-0. We stomped so freaking quickly last week. I mean, it just wasn't even close in some of those games. Like, we just looked like, yeah, we know what we're doing, and we're here to just wreck everybody. And you played arguably against better teams. That's the crazy thing. I guess Under Thieves are just really good. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out later. But okay, anyway, so we have this opportunity, and we go into the CLG game. And Senna's not banned, so we take the Senna. I think we were daring them. We're like, hey, if you're going to take the Akali, fine, we'll leave it up. Which I don't like, by the way. I don't love that. Like why Renekton? Why Renekton over the Akali? Just pick the damn Renekton. Just pick him. I mean, it's not like Renekton is running over the league right now, guys. Excuse me, goodness. I'm just looking at this. I mean, he's 93% pick ban, I guess. I get it. I mean, I guess I understand. I know he's strong. But the Akali's stronger. I mean, pick your poison here. And it's not like you can't get Renekton yourself. I mean, like, seriously, I don't even understand CLG's bans there. Like, you banned the Nocturne after you just saw what Huni did on it last game. Yeah, he did wreck top lane. I guess I really wanted to get advantage for top lane. That's the only thing I can think of. Anywho, we do get the Senna Tom Kench, though. I like that a lot. I don't love the Tom Kench. I think Set would have been better. But, you know, I mean, Tom Kench still worked in this game. Don't get me wrong. Like, either one's fine. I personally like the Set iteration of fasting Senna better, personally. But that's okay. I love the Senna. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All the way to the moon, Senna. Okay? She's very strong. And I think that she would work very well into this team. I know she's not lost, you know, jump in and do stuff with Champion, but he looked very good on her in this game. So then you see them. So they've got the Akali, the Jinx, and the Thresh. And I'm like, oh, man. Well, it's a good thing we have the Senna because we can at least match the Jinx in terms of, like, late game damage. And then we pick Gnar. What? Like, I get it. We haven't seen their jungler yet. Cool. Fine. But the Gnar? Ugh. Pick the Xin Zhao here. Man, I thought they were going to ban him. I still can't believe they didn't ban him. They banned the Lulu instead? I mean, who's the Lulu going to buff? The Senna? You correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't seem like it matters that much. Huni does have a pretty good Lulu, so I guess maybe, but like, I don't know. I actually don't know why TSM don't just pick Lulu for Huni there. Maybe he doesn't have a good Lulu. I thought he was okay on Lulu. Either way, they get the Gnar. Team fighting ability with Gnar is great. I understand it, but you have to pick your windows, and if you don't have those windows, sometimes it doesn't really matter. And then TSM ban Irelia. Has Aurelia been played yet this year? Nope. No, she hasn't. Okay, well let's check the LPL here. Okay, all right. So they're pretty good. No Irelia. Okay, well what about the LCK? Let's see here. LCK. One Irelia game, and she lost. All right. But what about the LEC? Okay, what about the LEC? Huh. No Irelia games. Strange. I'm not seeing any Irelia. Why are we wasting a ban on Irelia? They just not know what else to ban? I mean, God, dude, they weren't even going to ban the Silas. CLG could have taken Silas there. That would have been a nightmare for us. Nightmare. They didn't. I mean, I don't know why they think we're going to take the Silas there. I don't know, man. Whack draft. But luckily, TSM are able to get the Xin Zhao. Then they see the Wukong and the Gragas pick. They're like, CS or CLG are trolling again. Love it. Great. And they pick the LeBlanc. And I'll be honest with you. I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, what AP are they going to do? They're just going to pick the Victor? I don't love it, but maybe that's what they have to do. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and they pull out the LeBlanc, and I'm like, huh. I didn't know LeBlanc was really in this meta right now. But PoE's good on LeBlanc. Maybe that'll be a good pick. Early game, Huni makes some really bad trades. He's better than this. We've seen it. I mean, seriously, we have seen it. So I'm not going to chalk this up to just Huni's bad, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know where his mind went in this game. It was like he was back to old Huni, where he makes bad and really just terrible decisions. And he dies twice, even though TSM get Rift and Dragon in a relatively clean way. Like, he could have jumped out towards his team, and like he takes the greedy path to his tower, which I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like, bruh, like, you don't need to. And instead of throwing the Wukong backwards, he throws him into the wall closer to him. I don't know, just some strange decisions there. Don't love it. But PoE does have a lead, in the early game again. Like, he's getting leads in lane. So that's not really the issue. It's transitioning them. And he doesn't know how to do it on the Lucian. But he knows how to do it on this freaking LeBlanc. Because at the second Drake fight, it's fantastic. I mean, seriously, it's so good from TSM here because they're on the Drake, right? They're down 2 kills. They're down 900 gold or 800 gold, something like that. They pull off, and Huni comes in with Meganar, right? And you're like, oh crap, Finn's ulting. Lost is able to live here, by the way, which is huge. Such a good play from him. Huni gets the knockup, then he gets that awesome throw his arm down stun. You layer over the Senna ult, and then it's just off to the races, and they just chase it. And it's this point where they actually look like the TSM that we remember. Good decision making, good team fighting, really figuring these things out. And Sword Art just crushes it. I mean, I love this. He has the ult. He's like, all right, we're going in. He brings Huni with him, the one other person that can do some great slows. He doesn't have the Narbar, but, Huni makes such a good decision here. He, pulls himself out, and only goes in, it's so smart. So smart. Oh, the ace there. It's just nice. I was like, oh, thank God. They get the Drake. And PoE just looks so comfortable. You head into the mid game. There's one fight where it looks like CLG are maybe going to try to pull this out. All right, it's about 17 minutes. And this is after TSM have really ballooned the lead. 2 Drakes, 2 towers in a row. Everybody is up, basically, in lane. And yeah, like TSM get a little greedy, honestly, here, trying to go for. And I don't really know what Lost is doing there, to be honest, because he tries to Q the tower for some reason and gets flayed by Smoothie, and luckily he's able to dodge the hook, which gives TSM just a little bit more time. Now PoE's coming all the way from the top lane, and right now it's looking bad. Lost is dead, Sword Art's getting chased down. Huni and Spica are not in a great spot, but Huni does a great job. He's kiting, he's trying to get his rage bar up, and then he's standing in front of Spica, which I think is genius because he knows he has the Gnar bar, and they're all four right next to the tower. And you see Belter, he's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. He hits his E. Finn's like, oh man, I'm jumping out of here too. But the rest of them, it was really just Broxa and Smoothie that can't get out. I wonder, does 1 second, does Wild Turtle flash there? Yeah, he does. So they even get the flash out of Wild Turtle. And just, it's a great play, man. They're able to jump in. PoE finally is able to get there. You get the kill, and then he's able to just chase them down. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They just win this game. I mean, it's pretty clean after that. I mean, TSM just looked like TSM. This is a good comp. I don't love the Gnar when they picked it, but this is a great comp. They need to, take a picture of this and be like, all right, in this meta, that's a great comp for us. If people are going to pick the Akali, so be it. We will pull out the LeBlanc and look great doing it. Sorry, that was a lot of breakdown. So I'm going to take these last couple of minutes and I'm going to just kind of go over my general thoughts. Spica in that last interview after their CLG game said, well, we really misread the meta. I don't know that they did. I just think that they drafted badly and then they didn't play their team fights the way that they were supposed to. And it just doesn't seem like Power of Evil knows how to transition even a small lead that he does have into something important, right? If his... And it felt like he was trying to get into fights, but he couldn't really do it. He just doesn't have the same impact on the Lucian. So I don't know if it's that they misread the meta, because I think Lucian is able to be picked. I just don't think that they read the meta correctly for themselves specifically. And maybe that's what he meant. But I don't love that, it's misreading the meta. No, they honestly played some pretty horrific fights. And they picked a lot of champions that were good. Why not pick the Viego? There were so many times where I would have rather the Viego over the Lucian. Who cares if he doesn't have a lead in lane? It doesn't matter as long as, if this team's going to be all about team fighting, then pick champions that are actually going to be good in it. Don't force so many things. I mean, they should have won the FlyQuest game. The only game that they really should have lost was 100 Thieves. They deserve to lose that game 100%. FlyQuest game, that team's not better than them. They just, for some reason, have our number, and we can't beat them. I don't know. It's weird. CLG game really helps us with confidence, though, guys. I mean, it's not all bad. We're still 4-2. Okay, this summer, Cloud9's 4-2. 100 Thieves are 5-1. Liquid and Dignitas are 3-3, along with Immortals and FlyQuest. And overall, we're only a game behind Cloud9 and tied with 100 Thieves at 16-8. We're still a game up on Liquid. We're 2 games up on Dignitas. We're 4 games up on Evil Geniuses. So, yeah, I mean, this is fine. I'd rather them lose now and learn all of these things now. Should they have lost them? No. And is it still going to frustrate me? Abso-freaking-lutely. But is it the end of the world? No. It's not even close. Just like I said in week 1, yeah, I was optimistic. They looked good. I actually like when they lose early. I'm sorry. I know that sounds really dumb maybe, but I'm fine if they lose early. Who cares? At least they can learn from it, right? It doesn't matter. To be honest with you, being 0-3 to FlyQuest, they would have to win 7 games just to catch up to where we are currently. Okay? We'd have to go 0-7, and they'd have to go 7-0 for it to really matter. against them in a tiebreaker. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really doubt that's going to happen. Like, I put that at like a 99% chance to not happen. There's always a 1% chance, but there's just no way. I mean, there's no way that TSM lose all 7 of their next games and that FlyQuest wins all 7 of their next games. Just not going to happen. In hell, FlyQuest lost to Golden Guardians. I really like Xin Zhao for Spica. I really like the LeBlanc there for Power of Evil. I think if it's assassin meta and Power of Evil doesn't want to play these AD assassins or play like the Silas or any of that, then just play LeBlanc, man. That's fine with me. Silas steals LeBlanc ult, cool. Whatever. Like I think that's a really nice pick for them. And I don't know that she's particularly super strong, but I think for our team specifically, like that could be a pocket pick for us. And maybe she does come into the meta. Maybe I'm wrong. But I like it. I like seeing her in the meta for us. And I like seeing him on her. I think it's really good. I like to see Lulu out of us. I would prefer it on Huni over Sword Art. But hey, that's fine. Like, this isn't a great meta for us. We've got to find a way to just survive it. That's it. Our goal in this meta is to survive it. And what I mean by that is fight for first, win some games, just stay like until the next patch for competitive, which I don't know when that's going to be right now. Maybe next week they go to 12. 11, 12, I don't know. But whenever they do, if they feel like the meta is going to be better for them, then maybe they start practicing for that. But for now, like, I don't know, guys. I feel like this is going to kind of be the meta for this summer, and I feel like it's just more of let's get to playoffs. Let's survive and get to playoffs, right? We hold the tiebreaker, by the way, over 100 Thieves, so I really shouldn't say that we're tied with them for second. We were actually second, technically. Like, if the season ended today, and we had to, if they had to go by, win-loss record against each other for a tiebreaker, TSM are still 1-2, or 2-1, excuse me, over 100 Thieves. So, that gives us a really nice advantage over them currently. And I want to remind you guys, like, the only teams that we would not have the tiebreaker advantage over are Dignitas, which we are 0-2 against, FlyQuest, which we will now never have the tiebreaker over them, and Cloud9, which we're tied with. We're 1-1. So if we can beat them this weekend, then we have an advantage over every single team in the LCS for tiebreakers. And that's great. I mean, this next weekend, by the way, is going to be extremely interesting for us. We get an Immortal squad that looks better, Dignitas, and Cloud9. That's not an easy week. This will probably be our toughest week of the year so far. And we lost 2 this week, so we got to step it up, man. We got to be ready to roll. Although Immortals did just go 0-3 after going 3-0, so maybe they're not as tough as I thought. But, Dignitas went 1-2. Cloud9 went 3-0, though. They're going to be scary. I don't know. The LCS is still a little bit all over the place, but they look like the TSM are looking fine. They just need to finish in the top 2, in my opinion. Get that bye. Right now they have it. Right now, at least they should have it, I should say. If we went into playoffs now, I would think that TSM would have the bye week. And then it's just on to the next games. So, yeah, we'll talk about it on Thursday. They've got, like I said, they've got those teams that I just mentioned. It's gonna be interesting to see how we're able to play against them. I'm very hopeful that things will look good. I think we get them in the way that I said. Wow, I didn't even mean to say it in that way. So it is IMT on Friday, then Dig Saturday, and C9 for Sunday. So it's a big week, guys. I mean, we really need to pull out some wins there. They're not do or die, but it would be nice to have them. Yeah, and with that, I got our question of the week. Oh, by the way, join the giveaway, guys. Try to win a free jersey. Look on our Twitter accounts. We'll have some tweets out about it, so do it. Question of the week is, I would like to know what your guys' thoughts are on the LeBlanc pick. Again, she's really not been played in this meta, to my knowledge, so I'd like to know what you guys thought beforehand and now. I mean, do you think that it's going to continue to be that good? I'd have to imagine it would be, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So, yeah, give me your thoughts on that. As always, if you like the show, take a second to like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss another episode. Let's keep. Please continue to support this podcast on all podcasting platforms. I really do appreciate it. Share this with your friends. Hit us up at TGH Robert Haynes, well, me, and then us at the Gamehouse, TGH Esports. Head over to thegamehouse.com. I'm actually going to start writing about TSM again finally. Sorry, last week was weird. This week should be a little bit better for me to do so. And with that, as always, thanks for tuning in. The show comes out every Monday and Thursday, and it's still exclusively for your TSM ear holes. I'm Robert Haynes, and this has been Talking TSM. See you on Thursday.